Welcome to Responding to COVID-19. I'm DK Roster. You're viewing on TTT Live, Talk City 91.1 FM, as well as TTT Live online. We are here at the Export Centers Company Limited to speak with three individuals: Susan Narine, Training and Development Manager; Ashton Goorachan, Communications Coordinator. We also have the Marketing Sales Officer, Martha Sookan, and we are going to be talking about some of the work of Export Centers Company Limited, and we call them ECCL for short. Ashton, let me start with you. Please give me an overview of the role and what ECCL is about.
Sure. The Export Centers Company Limited gained its individual status as a company in July 7, 1996, under the Companies Ordinance Act. So it means that we have been in operation for the past 24 years. We are a state agency under the purview of the Ministry of Community Development, Culture and the Arts. Historically, our original purpose of existence was primarily targeting single-parent female heads of households. The intention was to teach them a skill in the handicraft industry, the craft industry if you prefer, so that they may be able to become breadwinners in the absence of a male figure in their homes, if you understand what I'm saying. We already know that this is a global problem, so we believe by giving them a skill, it goes back to the old saying that if you teach someone, or if you give someone a fish, you feed them for a day, but if you teach them how to fish, you feed them for life. So under that premise, the Export Centers originated.
All right, so Susan, I'll continue with you. In terms of teaching people to fish, what are some of the main areas of training?
Okay, so Export Centers, we are mainly a craft training institute. So most of the courses that we would teach would be clustered into approximately 4 or 5 clusters. We have the metal craft, jewelry craft, we have wood craft, coconut craft, just to name a few. Yeah. Our craft courses are offered at our centers, which are located geographically throughout Trinidad. We don't have any at the moment in Tobago, but we have as far as Point Fortin, we have centers, Point Fortin, Labrie, Paloseco, just to name a few. And in the north, we have Diego Martin, Mova, etc.
Now moving on to you, Martha, in terms of the logistics of signing up, how do people say, okay, well, I want to be a part of this? How do they move from just wanting to be a part to actually being in the training?
Right, so what we normally do, we'll advertise on Facebook, and we'll also send messages to people who have custom training with us via WhatsApp or email that we are having a training program. So they become interested. Then they will come into our offices and they will sign up a form, so they register, and then we will move from there.
So when you say offices, you're talking about those 10
centers.
And now, I looked and I saw a post from 2015 and there was a vacation craft program. Is that a normal occurrence or was that a one-off?
No, that's a normal training program. We have approximately 3 or 4 projects that we would offer throughout the year. The vacation camp is just one of them. Together with our normal craft training, in-house craft training, and then we also have training at institutions as well. So we will go out to institutions such as the YTC prisons, institutions as Goodwill, St. Margaret's Home, so and do various courses with those persons out there.
No. 24 years I'm hearing, Ashton.
Yes, sir.
What kind of feedback have you all been getting from the people who have passed through the program and said, okay, well, I've done this or I've done that?
Well, the feedback has generally been positive because now we have increased the number of intake because people pass on the information to others, which is a normal thing, especially the program is one that is run by a highly skilled tutors, facilitators, and Ms. Narine and her team, also the marketing and the other departments have been very supportive of it. So overall the feedback has been, I would like to think, very positive.
And how do you decide, okay, well, these are the courses that we're going to teach? Is it a matter of having the trainers, or is it a matter of saying, getting feedback from people and saying, okay, well, this is what people want to learn?
Well, most times it's feedback from the persons. So we try to accommodate what the people want. We try to offer those courses to them. However, we try to steer them in the direction that they could choose something that would be viable for them in the long term, you know, because our courses are not just training people as a hobby, but also to become young entrepreneurs as well. So we look at craft classes that are viable, you know.
Now with that in mind, Martha, the fact that you're kind of in the middle between the people who are learning and also others outside who may even be exporting, what's the conversation like bridging that gap between those two groups?
Right, so when you come to our centers, we actually teach you a craft, and the long one is to export. So even people who are already artisans come to us to find out how to export their products.
So if I'm doing coconut craft, and I am saying, okay, well, this is the area, this is my target market, but I want to export, or I want to get a little better, even, or have a larger market, even in Trinidad and Tobago before I export. What's that conversation like?
I'm glad you asked that question because one of our the last MOU we signed was with Export TT. So we have now partnered with them, and what we try to do is include in our curriculum that module of enterprise training. And entangled there in the enterprise training, we also have the export marketing as well. So for artisans, people who are already in business, we have courses for them as well.
Makes me start to wonder whether or not you'll have a registry of the people who pass through, so that the people say, okay, well, is there somebody else who does? So how can we get onto that database? Is it for public consumption?
Actually, we had it up on the ministries, our line ministries website as well. They had it at one time, but I am not too sure if it's there still.
Because I know there's also work being done on the artist registry, so I wasn't sure whether or not that would be a part of it as well.
Yes.
What are some of the kind of questions that people ask Ashton in terms of saying, okay, they want to find out something from ECCL?
Okay, first of all, when the adverts go out, if you want to call it adverts, the interest that people will ask is can be varied. And I say varied because there are a number of clusters, as Susan spoke about. So some of the questions they might want to ask is, first they ask if the courses are free, and they are free. Actually, let me just make that clear. This company is a non-profit organization, and we are actually funded by solely, at the moment, government subvention. So some of the questions they would want to ask is, what do I get from this program? Is it a certified course? What can I do after I graduate from the program? Let's just give you an example of what they ask. And also sometimes they would also want to, as we mentioned earlier, they would also want to recommend it for their peers, for their children. They ask about the carnival. Well, we had a carnival arts program at once. You spoke about, and Ms. Narine gave you some good information on the vacation craft program as well. So it is kind of multifaceted, if you want to put it in that way, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Definitely. And we are speaking about the Export Centers Company Limited.
Yes.
This is responding to COVID-19 on TTT, Talk City 91.1 FM, and TTT Live Online. We return with more. Stay with us.
What did you say about the bed breakfast?
They left it to you. So this was their grandparents' house.
Yeah. I was starting to worry that I wouldn't find anybody to fill this manager's position. Manager?
You expecting us?
What? Look, we could do this. Come on, let's go. So, that guy was rather cute today. And he was checking me out too. He's not Hayden. Who's Hayden?
COVID-19 on TTT Live, Talk City 91.1 FM, and TTT Live online on Facebook. We're speaking with Susan Narine, Ashton Goorachan, and Martha Sookan, all of the Export Centres Company Limited. And Martha, I want to start with you asking about the implications that COVID-19 has had on the work of ECCL.
Right, so due to COVID-19 pandemic, export centres, we had to change our direction from letting people come into our centres and going online, to do online training. So when we had our centres, we had like 15 persons per course, overall of 300 plus persons per program for that cycle. Now we have an alarming 600 participants registered thus far to date.
And when you speak of the cycle, did the pandemic actually disrupt a cycle, or was one happening at that point in time?
It did disrupt a cycle, yes. We were supposed to start a cycle, I think early May, around May, and we couldn't do it because of the pandemic. So now we are very happy to actually start the online training.
And that reminds me of the start of June, when Minister Gatsby Dolly spoke to ECCL's role in developing the craft industry's marketability, and she challenged you to expand markets using new strategies. I'm wondering if this virtual class is one of those things that came out of that challenge.
Yes, it is. Actually, it was the idea was born by our CEO, Ms. Mitchell. She first came to me and said, well, we need to do something. You know, we can't just sit back during this time of pandemic. So I guess she was saying, when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. So we decided to do this virtual online training, and the staff was very supportive. Our IT staff, the training department, everybody jumped on board, and thus far we are going great. As Martha said, we have a registration of almost over 600 persons already, and the courses we are just offering 5 courses. This is a pilot project that we have, and hopefully it will be ongoing.
With those 5 courses though, what kind of people are you seeing? Because Ashton, you started off saying that originally you're looking at possibly female, single family or single parent households. Is that the same kind of dynamic that you're seeing this time around? I see you shaking your head, Martha.
No, we have a lot of male people registering as well. So we had in the beginning it was single heads of household, female, but now we open to anybody, any age group, because we do the vocational camp as well. So we have children who actually learn to do tie-dye and batik and that kind of stuff, drawing, art, balloon decorating. So it's open to anyone.
No, you spoke about 5 categories. Let me just list them: jewelry, upholstery, fabric arts, linen and drapery, as well as woodwork. Yes. Why did you decide, okay, well, these are those that we're going with?
These were some of the easier crafts to teach, to deliver online. I know persons have some reservations with regards to the woodcraft, but the woodcraft, the reason why we chose the woodcraft is because the tutor who would be delivering that class is doing something called reclaimed wood. So persons at home now, in some challenging times, persons can use reusing the pallets, those pallets, and he'll be making some beautiful wooden items with those, teaching people to make some beautiful wooden items. So those classes, they're going to be really interesting.
What are some of the pros and cons of doing it virtually versus doing it face-to-face? From what it is you all have been thinking about already. I'll ask you, Ashton.
Yes, well, I think the first, I would prefer to look at the positive things first. The pro, as Martha correctly said, it has actually increased the capacity of us reaching out to people, because we had certain limitations, and those were based on the health and safety requirements. A certain amount of people for each building, because we are governed by the OSHA. So that's the first positive thing. We have been able, so far up to date, about 600 people. That's the first one. So you're meeting up perhaps a more diversified group of people, as opposed to sticking to something a little bit more less flexible. So that's upfront. That is something I can identify as a very positive thing. On the opposite side, I feel, and I don't know if Ms. Narine will agree with me, some of the courses are probably better off teaching on face-to-face. But when you are face-to-face, you can also interact with your neighbor. You can also break yourself into groups and that kind of thing. It doesn't mean that you cannot do that online, But the face-to-face interaction, you sometimes tend to get a little more because it's a real thing.
And I think I can also see, if you're doing something, you can see a teacher say, okay, yes, you're doing that correctly.
Yes.
So you say, oh, that's what they're doing, and let
Yes.
me do that too. Or
Absolutely.
why, if you're making a mistake, they can just kind of nip that in the bud
Correct.
one time, so you don't
That's
have
right.
to go quite down the road and then
That's
tell that
right.
you made a
Yeah,
wrong thing.
absolutely. That's what that was I'm getting at actually. Yeah.
You have any idea of how long the cycle will run?
It's an 8-week course, so we will have one session per week for 8 weeks on each course, for each course. Okay. And we try to have the classes set around probably midday lunchtime, so persons who are on lunch could take an early lunch or late lunch and just join in. And because it's a virtual class that we're doing, they would have the opportunity, once they register with us, they would have the opportunity to go into our Google Classroom and play the videos so they could look at it again.
I feel you'll have people blaming Miss Narine when they walk into work with the pallet. Well, I'm going on lunch. But let me know, please, Martha, yes, we're saying what media is this, but what are people signing on to? And talk to me exactly about how do people register?
Right, so when you see the advertisement on Facebook, there is a click on a button. There must have a button to register. Right, so when you click on it, Google will actually direct you exactly how to register. So it's very simple. You go on, you register your name, address, and so forth, and you click on exactly which craft you want. However, you can do all 5 courses, but you register 5 times.
There's been overwhelming feedback so far. What is one thing you'd like to leave people with about the Export Centers Company Limited or this specific 8-week course? And I'll ask the 3 of you going down. I'll start with you, please, Susan.
Okay, so one thing I would like the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to know is that Export Centers Company Limited, this time of the COVID pandemic, what's happening is that we are seizing the opportunity to show our worth, our value. Export Centers is geared towards diversifying the economy. So we're going back to using our local resources to produce man-made, handmade items. Not just for the local market, but for the foreign market as well.
Thank you, Ashton.
Yes, I want to agree with Susan, but I would also like to say it is very important for us to look at human development from a social perspective, such as building on capacity and developing the person. So we are also looking at the importance of the philosophical existence and value of the program that it adds to you as a human being. For example, discipline, and also it brings out the creativity in the individual as well. It shows that we are a talented people in this country and that we have this innate quality in us. It also stimulates our heritage and our culture if you look at the diverse samples that we have in front of us. So I would say that the philosophical value is sometimes overlooked because in an environment, yes, we have the COVID and all the rest of it, but we also cannot measure human worth by simply dollars and cents or how much money you make at the end of the week, at the end of the day. We have to look at the human value, the worth of an individual, the creativity. So we're looking here now at the development of the individual through the development of human capital.
Thank you, and Martha, you have the final word.
Well, Export Centers would like to provide an environment where we can at least get a lot of participants to participate in our programs, to learn and, Mr. Goorachan said, all creativity, initiatives, get initiative in all the aspect of different aspects of life in general.
And there you have it, ECCL, the Export Centers Company Limited, seizing the moment, the opportunity, investing in the human capacity of Trinidad and Tobago. Remember, the course, it runs for 8 weeks. You go onto their Facebook page, click on the box. It helps if you have a Google account, and make worthwhile use of this opportunity. And we want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Responding to COVID-19 on TTT, Talk City 91.1 FM, as well as TTT Live online on Facebook. I'm DK Roster.